Today, I want to teach you that just as people take a car for a test drive before buying it, writers take their characters from a possible story out for a test scene. They place their characters in everyday scenes outside of the storylines and then see how their characters move, think, and act. A few years ago, I was working on a book, a fiction story, and I was just at the beginning. I wasn't exactly sure how my story would go or what my character was really like, but then my writing teacher made a suggestion. She said I should take out my notebook, set aside the story I was thinking about, and just place my main character in an everyday scene. Like washing dishes or getting up in the morning or having dinner. Something that does almost every day as a way to get to know who the character really is, what the character thought about, wanted. So I tried it. I actually tried just getting my character ready for bed. But as I wrote the scene, something really interesting started to happen. Not only did I get to know the character better, but it almost felt like the character was coming to life, almost as if she was writing the story. Right now, we're going to try this together using my story idea. I think for this to really work as a strategy for understanding character, though, we can't write in summary. We need to write in scene. So let's quickly look over this chart that mentions some of the things that you need to make a scene. So first, scenes are small moments or mini stories. They include a clear setting that is woven throughout the moment. There's characters who are thinking, talking, acting, or perhaps doing all of those things. And they contain a character motivation or obstacle of some sort. What we're going to do is a scene boot camp. I'm going to lead you through a writing exercise where you write fast and furiously, getting as much writing down as possible, while you also practice your scene writing skills. I'll give you a little tip, then I'll model it with my own writing. Then you will give it a go. Then it will come back to me and I'll model something different, and then finally it will be your turn to try. So you're going to want to make sure that you have your writer's notebook and a writing utensil ready to go. Here's the thing though, not everything I teach you will be something you will be able to do or work for your scene right now, and that's okay. Just keep working on the last thing you were working on and then catch up with me on the next move. First, I need to think about the character and story idea I chose. It was a girl who knows it's silly to feel the way she does, but she wants to be popular, mainly because she has a birthday party coming up and wants people to come to it. Now I have to think a bit about who she is as a person and take a few notes. Okay, I know her parents are old-fashioned, so they would give her sort of a traditional name, like, I think I'll call her Esmeralda, which is a beautiful name, but not exactly the cute little name people sometimes associate with popular people. And I also know that she's actually very friendly. But she's also a bit strange. Sometimes when she tries to be friendly, it just comes off as almost annoying. Now, writers, in a second I'm going to ask you to pause the video. I want you to go ahead and try this with your story idea. If you're not completely committed to your idea, just pick the one that you think you are most likely to go with. Think a bit about the main character, then jot your thoughts really quickly in your notebook. Go ahead and pause the video now. Now that you have an idea about your character, let's try them out for size. Let's try them in an everyday scene. The goal here is to think of possible scenes that will give us a stronger understanding of what kind of person the character is. The more ordinary the moment, the more our character can be himself or herself. So I think I'm going to start with Esmeralda having lunch at school. While that doesn't directly link to the party, it should give me some insights into what she's like socially. I'm going to start this scene by jumping into the moment so I'm not tempted to summarize. Esmeralda walked into the lunchroom, holding her lunch bag in her hands. Even though everyone else in the school, it felt like, bought school lunch, Esmeralda was a picky eater. You know what? As I'm writing this little bit of a setup, I'm learning something about Esmeralda. That she's a picky eater. That she's different even when it comes to lunch. But I'm also learning something about my writing. I wrote in third person, but I'm wondering if the scene might flow better, if I might be able to get into the character better if I wrote in first person. In realistic fiction, you can do either. I'm going to draw a line under the third person try and then start my first person try right below it. I stood in the doorway of the lunchroom, half hiding behind the vending machines, clutching my lunch bag. There were a few kids who also brought their lunch from home, but almost everybody else bought from the cafeteria. I waited for Tilly to come through the kitchen doors, then waved to see as she headed to our table, the one closest to the janitor's closet. Oh, I like that a lot better. I think I'm going to stick with the first person for a while, at least in this scene. Writers, did you see how I developed the setting a bit more and started to work in a little bit of information about Esmeralda as I wrote? I tried to show what she was feeling, that she was a little nervous by having her hide behind the vending machine and wait until she saw her friend before she headed to her table. Can you try some scene writing? Can you just jump into your everyday scene, right into the action, being very aware of the setting and also trying to show the character's feelings? Go ahead and pause the video and work on doing this part in your story. Writers, your characters are probably springing into life. Now I think you're ready for more. Whenever you write scenes, you want to make sure your characters are doing things. These can be small things like folding a piece of paper, or big things like getting into an argument. Your characters might be talking or thinking, but it's important that you show them doing something, that you don't just tell about it. If you're getting stuck on something for your character to do, ask yourself, what does my character want? What is his or her motivation? It also helps to include some dialogue. Describe what the character wants in the scene and what obstacles are getting in his or her way. Show the setting. Where is the character right now? What little detail of the setting can you mention? Describe what your character is thinking. Make sure someone says something in the scene. Show your character's actions. They can be big or small. Stepping into a room full of strangers, kicking a soccer ball, taking a sip of soda. Have your character make a decision. It can be a big decision or a small decision. Just make sure your character is being active in the moment of the scene. Those were a lot of suggestions to try on your writing, a lot of things to make your story even better. Okay, writers keep writing.